Good afternoon. It's Thursday, March 5th, 2026. INEC's continuous voters registration is on. Use the opportunity to register to vote. On the news this afternoon, Agwanwo insists he remains Rivers NLC chairman despite New Peng protest. Rivers Civil Service Union questions whereabouts of 6 NLC CNG buses. Energy expert warns of severe impact if electricity workers begin nationwide strike. On the foreign scene, Venezuela, U.S. explore partnership to develop mining sector. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili with the news. We begin the news with a fresh crisis within the leadership of the Labour Union in Rivers State. The chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Rivers State, Alex Agwanwo, insists he remains the substantive chairman despite protests by members of his parent union, the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, who claim he has been expelled. Now, the protesting members demonstrated at the Labour House on Wednesday. Speaking with correspondent Uruwari, Agwanwo says he was elected by delegates at an NLC Congress and not by members of New Peng alone. He claims the union does not have the authority to remove him as chairman of the NLC in Rivers State.
It is not only New Peng that elected me as NSC chairman, that's number one. I was elected by the entire Congress of NSC River State Council. I'm a member of NUPEN, and I have not been expelled from NUPEN. We have a pending matter in the courts, up to the Court of Appeal. So if you expel me and hold the position NLC, why don't you go back to the same court? So this is my same NLC position. Why we have expelling? Why don't you go and challenge, go to the same court to challenge it?
Agwanwo says effort by the national leadership of New Peng to get the Nigeria Labour Congress to enforce his alleged removal were rejected. According to him, this happened after he and other union members informed the Congress about a pending case at the Court of Appeal.
The National Industrial Court tried to claim that the large jurisdiction on matters that is already before him. And for us, we're not satisfied with that. We have to go to appeal. It's not only me. There are several members of the union that are involved in the matter. It's only about Alex. NLC, CWC, and NEC have sat on this matter. Even in our last CWC and NEC meeting, the Pen president came here to make that claim, and the CWC of NLC shouted him down. That has no rights. The Pen has no such powers to ask them to withdraw me from NLC chairman.
Meanwhile, a member of the Rivers State Executive Council of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Chukwuka Osuma, says the Congress has not taken any decision on the demand by members of the New Peng that Alex Agwanwo should stop acting as chairman. He adds that this remains the position of the NLC despite the 7-day ultimatum earlier issued by the protesters for Agwanwo's removal.
Well, for now, New Peng is parent this thing has given ultimatum 1 week. Maybe after the 1 week, they will give a grace again. As a member of NLC, if they call us, we'll go back and think of the next action. But we've written to our national headquarters too, waiting to hear from them. Already they are aware of the issue. Got the letter from Peng that Les was suspended. After some time, we went to court. Before we know it, straight away they caught this thing that he should go and reconcile with his union.
And now the chairman of the Nigeria Civil Service Union in Rivers State, Chukwuka Osuma, has questioned the whereabouts of 6 CNG buses donated to the state leadership of the NLC by its national body. Speaking with correspondent Uruwari, Osuma said his union was excluded from the distribution of the buses. He asked that the concern arose after it was discovered that the vehicles were no longer at the Labour House in Port Harcourt.
6 buses that was given to us by the national NLC didn't give us anyone. Rather, they said they were instructed to use the car as to run a company or franchise or not, which we are not told. We requested for one of the buses because as a major stakeholder, they were supposed to give us one of the buses like other states did. I mentioned that was where they told us that they got a directive from the national headquarters that was given to Rivers State. They don't have to tell us what to do.
While reacting to the allegation, the Rivers State chairman of NLC, Alex Agwanwo, says the CNG buses were intervention vehicles donated to South State by the national leadership of the Congress. He explains that it was agreed at meetings of the NEC and CWC that the buses should be handed over to members of the National Union of Road Transport Workers to operate them for public transportation.
That's for public use. So we're not the owner. We only took custody of the CNG buses from the National Secretariat, and we have also released them to road transport workers for the efficient use of it, for the benefit of the masses. Which I said is the one for SAP, and which have visited the OR SAP to tell you that we as a state council will not even get anyone because it's not for private or personal use, it's for public use. It was given to national. We did an official handover. CNG buses are not for only River State. Everyone they came to commission it, it was stated clearly, not for union use.
Well, let's now talk about the impending strike by electricity workers in Nigeria and its implications. The South-South-Southeast Regional Deputy Secretary General of the Senior Staff Association of Electricity and Allied Companies, Dr. Innocent Lord Douglas, warns that allowing electricity workers to go ahead with their planned nationwide strike could have serious consequences. Dr. Lord Douglas told correspondent Yoebi that the strike will severely affect the economy and disrupt the daily lives of Nigerians. He urges the federal government to intervene urgently to prevent the strike.
Their grounds are germane. You don't just discountenance an ultimatum with a wave of hand because it can have a far-reaching effect. The effect of electricity supply is not only when you have power in your house. Even when you don't have power in your house and the grid is on, there are so many networks that uses that grid to work. So when a grid is shut down automatically, it means that there are so many economic effects that is going to give to the country, even individuals.
Dr. Lord Douglas adds that the union will continue to oppose any attempt to militarize trade union activities by any company.
When the strike ultimatum is being given, don't discountenance it with a wave of hand and then make sure that it's being halted or the issues are being addressed. One of the most conspicuous one is where a unionized environment has been militarized, like in the generation companies. Investors have now militarized those areas and refused union activities. Deduction of payee and not remitting is also a big offense. So some of these issues are very germane that need attention.
Let's go on a quick break. When we return, experts urge civil society groups to strengthen self-regulation for greater accountability. Stay with us. Civil society organizations play a key role in holding the government accountable, but experts say their impact depends on first regulating themselves. Speaking at a capacity building training in Port Harcourt, team lead of the Ethics and Good Leadership Awareness Initiative, Harry Udo, emphasized that CSOs must operate with integrity to earn public trust and legitimacy. He notes that the sector's reputation has sometimes been put to question by the unethical actions of a few organizations.
When you go to equity, you must go with clean hands. And civil society, they hold government accountable all over the world. And so we are saying for Nigerian civil society organizations to be able to then hold government accountable, you need to first of all clean your hand. There's a wrong perception about civil society organizations. Perhaps that perception influenced by certain actions of some civil society actors. But that is not the story for all civil society organizations in Nigeria. What we are doing with this is to then build capacity of the civil society organizations to be able to implement self-regulation principles in the organizations that then help them to operate in a way that engenders trust.
To tackle these challenges, Udo explains that EGLI's training equips CSOs with the tools and knowledge to implement strong internal governance frameworks aligned with global best practices. It says this will help organizations comply with government regulations, improve transparency, and establish legitimacy. Udo believes government CSOs are better positioned to promote good governance and build trust between citizens and the state. Addressing past concerns that some CSOs might be involved in terrorism funding or money laundering, Udo clarified that no civil society organization in Nigeria has been conclusively linked to terrorism financing. He adds that money laundering concerns are mostly related to illicit financial flows in sectors like hotels and real estate, often arising from procurement processes.
But again, I take you back to the national risk assessment that was carried out that then shows that no CSO in Nigeria has been used for that. Where there was a little, this thing was an international NGO operating somewhere in Borno State. There was a bit of a discrepancy. That's the only entity that has been flagged in Nigeria for suspicion, not confirmed, of terrorism financing. Illicit financial flows largely comes from procurement. But there's that suspicion as well that NGOs are susceptible to that and they can be a source of money laundering. But I tell you that CSOs are not even involved. It's more of the real estate companies and hotels.
Correspondent Ifunanya Ubemenduka reports that leaders of CSOs from the South, South, and Southeast regions were present at the training. Moving on now, the chairman of Ikwere Local Government Area and Eche Local Government Area are warning residents to stay away from a disputed land between Umuoselem Igruta and Chukwuchu. Speaking to journalists after a peace meeting between the two communities, the Ikwere Council chairman, Charles Wobodo, says anyone who takes tractors or excavators to the land will be arrested, detained, and prosecuted. Wobodo says no one should enter the disputed area until both councils reach a final decision. He also urges residents to remain peaceful and allow the authorities time to resolve the issue.
I want to beg all of us, don't worry, you'll build your house. For sure, we must get peace here, like I said. Just respect the fact that the local government chairman has said, just hold on. When we are done, in the next few weeks, we'll be done with these things. Everybody will carry on. So, this week. No more building in anywhere here. No more excavation or whatever you're doing. Hold on. We will come back. But let me also warn, if I hear that is happening, they will arrest and detain and seize everything you have. We'll go further to prosecute you because we don't know the reasons why you're doing that. We don't want to hear any land grabbing in this area. Thank you and God bless you.
While also speaking, the chairman of Eche Local Government Area, Chima Boniface Njoko, assured both communities that he and his counterpart in Ikwere Local Government Area would ensure fairness in sharing the disputed land. He explains that in most land settlements, it is unlikely that one side will get everything and urged both communities to be willing to give up some portions in the interest of peace. Njoko also clarified that neither of the council chairman, has any personal interest in the land. According to him, their goal is to ensure a peaceful and fair resolution of the dispute.
Rest assured, the Gruta and the Chukwuchu, that Chukwuchu will lose small, the Gruta will lose small. There's no perfect boundary adjustment. But be rest assured that we must satisfy our conscience and we are not collecting half plot of land from anybody. We want to sound it as a warning. And if anybody dares, after this stress, we finish demarcating it, he say is this or that. If you feel what we are doing here is a child's play, you know the difference between the unionists and government. Go home and maintain peace. Chukwuchu people. The Gruta people, go home and maintain peace.
Meanwhile, representatives of Umuoselem Igruta and Chukwuchu communities have submitted several court documents to the two council chairmen to serve as a guide for a fair and informed resolution of the disputed land. Well, let's go to Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu has officially sworn in Olatunji Disu as the Inspector General of Police. The ceremony took place at the council chamber of the presidential villa in Abuja on Wednesday. Just before the Federal Executive Council meeting, President Tinubu also administered the oath to 6 commissioners of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission and 2 from the Federal Civil Service Commission. The event was attended by Vice President Kashim Shettima, ministers, senior government officials, and the family members of the new appointees. And just days after his promotion as Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu has started taking steps to restore public trust in the police force. Disu pledges the Nigeria police will not tolerate actions that violate human rights or damage public trust. He made the statement during his first conference with senior officers at the Peacekeeping Conference Center in Abuja. This says there would be no